Oh, baby. Man, I felt like I was just here.
You were just here.
I felt like I went home, I closed my eyelids, I woke up, and then here we are again.
I slept here last night,
You
actually.
slept here? Wow.
Yeah.
Was it cozy at least?
No, it was not warm, I'll tell you that.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the pregame lounge.
Let's go!
Vibes through the roof here. Nuggets, man, it's the nice thing about the NBA sometimes. Sometimes you lose in painful fashion. You're all down in the dumps, but guess what? The next day rolls around, you get a chance to make up for it.
Malone loves that line.
Yeah, for real, he does love that one. He's taught me a lot. Or a chance to get destroyed. We'll find out. I got Brennan Vogt with me.
Just enough time between these two games for me to break a charger and then go and buy a new one. I've had a very fun 12 hours. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. It looks really warm. That thing, that's why I touched it.
Thank you.
It
Yeah,
looks
it
really
is
cozy.
warm.
Over
Maybe
here,
too warm in here.
Over here, I got Harrison with hat backwards. Saturday vibes.
Wow. Saturday vibes.
Looks like he just went for a jog.
Yeah. I'm starting this pregame show. We'll see if I finish it, though.
Oh, really? That's okay. Over here, I got
That was a
Superstar
Bones
Dev.
Hyland joke.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I missed it. Went over my head.
I mean, I take one night off and like just everything goes to shit.
It
What's
does.
going on, man?
Come
Like,
back and
what's
fix
going
it.
on?
Please come back and fix it for
The
us.
vibes are back.
Yeah, the vibes are back, man.
Hopefully.
Look at that. All right, so we got a fun show for you guys tonight. Nuggets in Toronto, north of the border, and our Canadian brothers.
And sisters.
And sisters taking on the Raptors tonight in what will be an empty arena. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Nikola Jokic's comments about Will Barton and himself from last night's game and what to expect as a bounce back tonight. We got Bones Hyland. Topic of discussion yesterday, not closing the game. Will he close tonight, and how many minutes will he play? And then, of course, Dev is here. Big T gave him some lessons. Not that he needed them, but he gave him a little bit of This is like when Kobe went and worked out with Hakeem. So
Just like it, dude.
Just like it.
Just
so,
like that.
You know, already was good. Got a little bit better last night. We'll see the fruits of those lessons. But first, Harrison, what can you tell us about tonight's game?
Well, on the injury front, Monte Morris is out again tonight.
Bummer, man.
Bones
Yes,
Hyland will start.
Okay.
His second straight game at point guard. Fred VanVleet, he missed the Raptors' last game, a win over Houston with sore groin. He's playing tonight for the Raptors.
So he did not pull an Embiid where he played against Houston and then rested against Denver. Instead, okay, all right.
Also,
Smart of him.
the
Impressive.
Raptors got Thaddeus Young at the deadline.
That's right. Is he
He's
debuting?
available. I don't know if he's going to play. He's available, though.
It's going to be sick when Denver just keeps playing guys that are debuting against them, so there's all
Right.
that extra energy on the court.
Right.
Didn't quite last night. Total game changer.
It really was.
It really was.
If he doesn't play. All right, whatever.
Turnovers are going to be big tonight. Raptors are fourth in the NBA in points off turnovers this season. Denver turned the ball over a bunch last night in Boston, so that's going to be something to watch. Also, the Raptors lead the NBA, or I think they might be second, in isolations per game. Siakam isolates a ton. Gary Trent isolates a ton. So Denver is going to be tested defensively tonight.
And tested in the one-on-one defense, which is always the most interesting. Like rotations, this or that, okay. But, one of the storylines, Dev, this season has been, can Denver keep perimeter containment? Can they keep guys in front of him? Well, tonight, Gary Trent Jr., man, I like that dude's game, especially one-on-one. He's just a quick, always confident, looking to score. And then Fred VanVleet's one of the quickest dudes and craftiest dudes. I worry that's a tough matchup. How do you keep those guys out of the paint?
You don't really.
Okay, well.
No, really. You probably try to throw off and give them some different looks. So maybe you're going to have some zone type plays just because you're going to have Bones Hyland out there. So you have a rookie point guard going against a pretty good backcourt like that can score, and they are going to ISO you. You also kind of have to keep Jokic close to the paint a lot of like the times and have him try to protect the paint, because if you have Aaron Gordon with like a cross matchup with Siakam,
Yeah.
now he's going to step in the corner and he has ISOs on his own side, so he's away from the rim. So it's going to be like reliant on the center. So this is going to be a big Jokic rebound type of game, but also he has to be in help side a lot of the time.
Yes.
So that's what it'd have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the matchup. Gordon on Siakam and Will Barton on Gary Trent Jr.
Tough, man.
Tough.
I don't even think that's the scariest
Bones
matchup.
Hyland,
I was
yeah.
going to say, those guys, like Barton can defend. Is he going to shut Gary Trent Jr.? I don't know if he's a shutdown guy. We'll talk about him a little bit later on. Gordon can make things hard. But Fred VanVleet, man, is a good player.
Freddie
An all-star?
VanVleet?
Are you talking about an all-star here? Fred VanVleet and Bones Hyland, second start. I know you didn't get lots of distraction from last game not closing. Now you got to go and stop an all-star.
Yeah, it's no fun. And obviously, it's no secret the perimeter defense has been poorest at best all year. And it's a downgrade from Monte, who's not very good at it, to Bones, who's really not good at it. if Fred's probably going to be aggressive tonight and with
Yeah.
good reason, Jokic's going to be busy on the defensive end. To your point, he's going to have to be active, and that's a hard thing to do while also fighting through double teams on the other end.
Yeah. Also, Zeke Najee's out tonight.
Yes.
Yep.
So DeMarcus Cousins is likely going to be in the rotation, but I was thinking even if Zeke Najee was playing tonight, this probably was a DeMarcus game because the Raptors are a really good offensive rebounding team. And Chris Boucher, who comes off the Raptors bench, he's gotten like 3, 4, 5 offensive rebounds in his last couple games. So I was thinking it was going to be a Cousins night anyway, but with Zeke out, it probably is.
Yeah. Zeke, it is. So DeMarcus Cousins getting minutes. As Dev pointed out, though, they don't play with a center. They play really small.
Yeah.
You know who they actually remind me most of stylistically, and this is concerning. They remind me the most of the Clippers. Oof. They have a lot of really long players. They have a great coach. They have a lot of really long like wings and a really quick point guard. And then they just play a very switchable style. And yes, they're vulnerable inside, but they make up for it by being this really switchy team. And I think one of the things with Jokic, the best way to defend him is to double with length. Rather than put a guy on him, if you have an 8, and sure, put him on them or something like that. But usually if you could send the double team immediately with a really large body and then zone up on the weak side with long bodies, that's been Denver's kryptonite. So I'm a little, to me, I am a little concerned that this might be just a bad matchup for Denver.
We're going to see the doubling tonight a lot because Siakam's their center. Like you were saying, they play a lot of small ball, and he can't guard Jokic one-on-one. So it's going to be a lot of doubling from Toronto.
So well coached, relentless in their effort. The entry passes could be difficult tonight as well.
All right, a little positive. We'll try to swing the other way. Empty arena. The only team in the NBA that does not have full fans. They're north of the border. The rules are a lot stricter out there. Still trying
Which
to
border?
The Canadian border.
Okay, that's
yeah,
right,
there you go. Trying to. Did I say something? What did I
No,
mess
I
up
was
here?
just curious.
You didn't know
You
where
just said the
Toronto?
border,
The
so
border, the northern border.
I was just wanted to double check.
Yeah, just basic geography, man. There's only 3 countries in North America.
No dumb
Canada.
questions.
Canada, right there. They obviously don't allow anybody into the arena. I'm curious. Here's the antidote to doubling hard, to not having a big. If you're going to double hard on Jokic, make some threes. Make them pay. Make them pay a lot. And this is the one thing. You got Bones Hyland. He's getting a start, but no distractions, no crowd noise or this or that. I honestly think this is going to work in Denver's favor.
Yeah,
or could.
It's a huge game for Bones. I think playing in an empty arena is going to help him. I was impressed with how poised he looked, particularly to start the game against Boston. I mean, that's a tough place to play, tough crowd to play in front of, but
Yeah.
I thought he looked pretty calm, cool, and collected. 0 turnovers last night. So if Bones has a big night, like that's going to be an ingredient to a Nuggets win.
Rob Nuggs just says, is Adam dressed as a Canadian for tonight? Dude, come on.
This is a nice outfit from you.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, somebody take the wheel.
Nice outfit.
I'm out of here. Thanks for that. Yeah, so I had another point too, and it says completely. Oh, I know what it was.
Empty arena.
Jokic looked really tired last game. That's one thing I'll say. Like Malone after the game even went as far as to say, and Jokic commented as well. But Malone basically saying what is very obvious. He's tired. Well, now you have a back-to-back.
Sick.
So and you have a short team. Now they don't play fast. I think they're like the 25th or 26th fastest team. But just another thing to kind of keep in mind here. Kale, let's go to the clip. Last night in the post-game commentary, Vogt shared with us that Nikola Jokic, uncharacteristic, I'll leave it to you to determine whether or not he called out Will Barton, but he certainly mentioned him by name as well as himself about 2 guys that did not play well for various reasons. Go ahead and play that clip.
But I mean, I think me and Will Barton played really bad. Especially like we didn't have any chemistry. Like we were, I mean, at the end of the day, we're supposed to be the leaders or whatever. AJ played really well. He had some kind of consistency. I think maybe the plus minus doesn't show, but I think me and Will needs to score. Me and him and just find teammates. So I think yes, turnovers, yes. Offensive rebounds, yes. Maybe bench play. It's basically some nights are good, some nights are not good. But I think today I had 9 turnovers, so it was me and a little bit.
I think you cut it at the very me and a little bit Barton, he says there at the end. So he does mention him 2 times, which is kind of important here. Dev, having seen the video now, do you feel like that's a calling out? Do you feel like that's just, I mean, is there anything to this?
He absolutely called him out.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
And you want that from your best player, and also it's against another veteran that's on the team. You know, and also, you know, we were calling for that, and also you want that from your best player, for him to be the one that's saying what needs to happen or what can get better. He also admitted fault himself, but he also said his frustrations, and you know there were a lot of those with Will Barton in particular. So why not be the one that says that, and also in a public manner, so you can work on it. If he said, I'm sure that they've had that conversation before of, you know, he wants the ball or take some better shots and things like that, but it lets other people know they have to be on the right path as well. So I think that it's great that he did it, but also I do understand that he really did call him out in a lot of the ways. I think it's for the best, though.
One of the things the 4 of us have a little bit of insight on is we've seen so many pressers with Jokic. So we know things that are, and I think this is kind of what you were getting at yesterday on the postgame show, Vogt, of like, we've seen so many times where he'll just say the team or say this, but to actually say somebody's name is it feels pretty rare, at least in such a critical context. Was he calling him out or not so much?
He was definitely calling him out. It was crazy to hear that. I mean, you can tell watching Jokic in that clip that he's uncomfortable calling a teammate out.
He's thinking a lot about what to say.
Yeah, he was clearly uncomfortable there. But, you know, here's what I'll say. Will Barton might respect Nikola Jokic's game more than anyone else in the Nuggets locker room.
So true.
They've been here for 7 years. They've been through everything together. Jokic, I think, respects Will Barton's game a lot, too.
Right.
So I think it's coming from a good place.
No
and
question.
I think it can definitely be a positive. You know, maybe it's something Will needed to hear, but I definitely think he was calling him out. I've never heard Jokic publicly, you know, say somebody else on his team played bad. I've never heard it.
And by the way, Matt, I think it was matter of fact from Jokic, right? It was both of them. And I have seen, you know, some of the comments, I would not extend it so far to Jokic is frustrated with the deadline. Jokic is frustrated with Barton.
Right.
He was talking about the game they just played, in which the two of them, you know, Barton's the first guy to figure Jokic out. He's the longest tenured Nugget. It is their responsibility when guys are down to step up.
He copied Barton's car.
And yeah, he did. They love each other.
For real, though.
Kobe and Shaq. Kobe and Shaq.
Here's the other thing too. Here's the other thing too that's key. He mentioned their chemistry. Like Barton and Jokic have run a lot of 2-man game over the years. They didn't in that game. They were so disconnected from each other.
Right.
And that's what he was like. We have to be at the center of us playing well, and we have to be connected. And neither one of us were on our game. He was calling out Will Barton. He was right to. All he means is play better the next night. He's not saying, get this guy off my team.
This is why this story is interesting, because, yes, if you're trying to extrapolate the reason this is a topic to us or why we're talking about it as those reasons, like, oh, is he trying to trade him or is he this or that? This is why it's interesting to me. I honestly believe the next step for Jokic is these types of things. I've been very impressed with, you people are going to hate me, we're going to get down votes here. I've been very impressed with Joel Embiid this year. In this very specific way. Now, we'll see if he's going to have a real test now. He has James Harden. We'll see. Good luck with that one. Yeah. But I've been very impressed with him, with a group of guys that are clearly, prior to Harden, all underneath him, you know, like, hey, supporting cast. And he's done a very good job of calling guys out and then lifting them up when they do, you know, when they respond, like challenging guys. And to me, this is part of going from being a 25 and younger player where you're sort of like, hey, to now all of a sudden you can be a star at 22, 23, but you're not really a veteran until you get to be about 26, 27, 28. That's when you're a vet.
Yeah.
This is the moment I think Jokic is at, is like learning exactly how to do this thing. And I love that he included himself in this. Like, it was both of us bad. And if we're being honest, I honestly think Jokic became a little passive in part last night because he was just so annoyed. Like, it got so, like, he responded to it poorly too, and I think that's part of why he's calling himself out. But figuring out a way to say, I'm the centerpiece of this team, and you are making things hard for me or not doing things right. How can we get that to fix? It's a really tough thing, but I think this is him making an attempt at it in a way we haven't seen. So I'm curious to see how it works, and I'm curious to see how Will Barton responds. Dev, how do you think Will Barton plays tonight?
I think that he's going to be more in the flow of the offense. I think he'll be a bit more passive, but that's okay. It's like to show him, we know that there's going to be those Will Barton shots. That's what he's forced to do, and I know that there was a conversation that was had with coaches or Jokic or something after it is, how can I help you? Because that's just the type of player that Will Barton is. Like, a lot of times he gets deemed as selfish, but he really doesn't seem like a selfish player. Like, teammates seem to enjoy playing with him. Even going back with last night, Jokic is he's a matter-of-fact guy. Like, he's talking about that game in particular.
Right.
Like, they did not do the things. It wasn't like, hey, this is something that I've been feeling. I feel like he should have been traded. It was like, this was a game that we did not play well in.
Right.
We have to get it together, and I think that has to be said. But I do think that he's going to overpass and play within the flow of the offense. And also, he's going to have to take shots, and he's the person that takes those shots. So I think it'll be a little bit of the same Barton, but more touches for Jokic, more cutting. Now you have to play harder defense. It was the best thing to happen to Barton also.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Jokic specifically mentioned the chemistry between Barton and himself. And I think back to that botched dribble handoff that they had that Marcus Smart took the other way. And that's a play, that's an action they've run hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times over the last 7 years. And I think that turnover was probably on Barton because he, didn't come off tight enough. He didn't really give Jokic an opportunity to get him the ball. So I'll be watching stuff like that closely. The chemistry between those two guys.
This is the stuff that Malone has called for too, right? He's wanted to see more of this.
1,000%. It's so needed.
What I'm most curious about and what the next step is, like, okay, Jokic chose to do it through the media. Has Barton seen it? Did he text Jokic? Have they talked?
Right.
Because that's going to be helpful. If they get a chance to talk and it's, hey, I'm not just calling you out. This specifically, you and me, let's tighten it up. And I would like to think, and I imagine Barton's like, I got you, big fella. So I'd like to see how they adjust tonight.
I'm telling you, leadership, man, is the hardest thing. And most people don't ever attempt it because they're just never in a position to do this or that. Yeah. But it honestly, like, the art of, there's such a thin line between challenging teammates and being an asshole. It's a very, very, very thin line, and you have to like really develop that talent and that skill over time. And this is what to me why sports are so interesting. This is why I hate the whole idea of like just buying or super teaming something together, because I'm like, when you get these pieces right, it's so awesome, and you end up being better than any of the individuals. And this is part of that, in my opinion, at least a very, very, very small part of it, and it's super interesting to me. Also interesting to me, last night, Bones Hyland did not close the game. In fact, he played very few minutes in the second half. Facu Campazzo closed the last, what did you say, 17 minutes?
17 minutes in a row.
17 minutes in a row. Unfair to Facu, unfair to Bones, unfair to the Denver Nuggets, in our opinion. We've already talked to it. It's already ice under the fridge. But now, here we have an opportunity for Bones to go up against a maybe even tougher challenge. How many minutes, Vogt, do you think Bones is going to play tonight? I think he played 19 last game.
Bones is closing tonight.
You think?
I know. The first thing he said, and you're right, I'm being naive. I should know better by now. But the way Malone, unprompted, unsolicited, his own note on the game, his first thought on the game, I should have gotten Bones back in there.
Was that because of Malone or because of the fan that was yelling at him to stop playing Facu as he walked off the court?
Oh my God, that was wild, bro.
There's no way he didn't hear that. There's no way he didn't.
That was wild.
It's crazy. But yeah, look, Bones is going to get a longer leash tonight. There's no doubt. And if he doesn't, then we got to criticize the coach who just said he'd do that.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if Bones didn't play 25 plus minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if he plays well or if he plays like he did last night, I bet he closes. Because I think you could tell in Malone's comments that he really regretted that decision. Like, I feel like he was genuine in that. So
also because I feel like it was a good opportunity for it. Honestly, I think it was a good opportunity. Like, Marcus Smart's a tough player, but he's tough in that Bones, his offense will be challenged. Not necessarily his defense. That would be challenged too, but not in the way. Tonight, it's a different challenge. It's Fred VanVleet, is very quick, very crafty. It's such a different challenge. I'm not 100% sure, but I do. If I were a betting man, I agree with you.
I think that he'll play more just because I think the matchup allows him to play more. I feel like in a setting with the Raptors who have all these long guys that can defend and are going to send double teams, having a guy like Bones that's just shot ready every time that Jokic passes it to him out of the double team just is going to warrant more shots.
Yeah.
And they're going to need that type of energy. They're going to need that type of spacing that Bones provides. On the defensive end, he is going to be attacked.
Yeah.
And it's also a second night of a back-to-back. This is like a learning experience that I think they're going to say, this is how you need to get better. So I do think that he's going to play a lot more today, though.
How do you think he's going to play? Do you think he'll have a good game?
I think he'll knock down some shots. I really do. And I think he'll step up to the challenge of trying to defend them. He's not going to shut down Fred VanVleet. He just isn't. and you should not expect him to. But like, is the effort there? Is he, making smart reads? Is he trying to make him work? Like, you have to try to get it in different ways. You're not going to step a rookie into having to defend an all-star who's playing really well and say, let's see how you do. But he has to.
Harrison, is his offense more important tonight or his defense?
I think maybe his offense. I just don't have a lot of faith that he'll be able to put up too much of a fight against Van Vliet. But to Dev's point, he's going to get a bunch of open threes tonight because they'll be doubling Jokic hard. Facu did go 3 of 5 from 3.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. But Bones, he's going to have to knock down threes tonight. He'll get open ones for sure.
Yeah.
I think you're right that in terms of keys to winning the game, his offense is what matters. But I think why you're asking, in terms of earning these minutes from Malone,
Right.
I think it's his defense. There was a play late in I want to say the third quarter last night. Jaylen Brown, it's semi-transition. Jaylen Brown has the ball, Bones cross matchup, and he takes it. He drives to his right, does not make a move, goes right by Bones, who literally steps out of the way. Like, it's Olay. Now, Bones played well, and he deserved to close, to be clear. But that is the type of mistake that drives Malone up a wall, the type of mistake that kept Michael Porter Jr. off the court. And so I would think that Malone has texted Bones. I don't know. I would think and said, hey, my bad. I should have gotten you back in that game.
Yeah.
But this is what we need from you. And I would think it's going to be defense.
Do you think it's one of those moments where you just have to grab a guy? Malone always says.
Yeah, they probably
It's always
hug-
his line.
they probably
Listen,
hug.
I grabbed him at shoot
I just had to
arounds.
grab him.
And I
just hugged him.
And I said, hey, don't let guys just run past you for easy layups.
What the are you doing? I grabbed him by the collar.
You'll never play again if
Yeah.
you do. So I think Bones, one of the things that was exciting about it was that first unit with Bones, I think outscored the Celtics by 10 points in like 6 minutes. It really was firing on all cylinders. That's one little stint. The second stint in the second quarter was also really good. So they had 2 really good stints. Third stint, not so much. So it's just fun when you get something new and you get to check it out. I expect there'll be really good stints and really bad ones, and we'll probably get both in this game. And here's the thing. Last game I said I was excited to see Facu with the second unit, and that bore out. I thought Facu had a really bad first stint. He had a really good second, like a really, really good second stint. And then the second stint lasted another 5-6 minutes.
Sure.
And I mean, again, I don't think fault of his own. Almost every player, 17 minutes straight, will just wear
It's
down.
tough.
I don't even play that. Honestly, in the rec league nowadays where we walk the ball up and like sometimes you stand in the corner for take a possession off. Even then, like one sub per half, like, yeah, I need
Like,
that.
did Tibbs do that with Jimmy Butler even? Like, what the hell?
For real.
But by the way, that first stint, too, like, JaMychal Green forgot to guard someone. Like, Bryn Forbes
There was
was
some
horrible.
weirdness, yeah.
Yeah, Facu was the best player off the bench.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's turn now to Superstar Dev and to DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, and let's try to place some bets. So we talked about it, Dev. We think Barton's going to be passing the ball tonight. We think that Jokic is maybe going to have to set an example. How's this game going to go from a betting standpoint?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not really confident in the Nuggets winning the game. Second night of a back-to-back against a really, really hot team right now, who's finding their way and also just matches up extremely well with the Nuggets. So I do think that the Raptors are going to win the game. I will say that. Money line for Raptors. I think you can put it into a parlay.
I'm not going to bet that, but okay.
I know. And then as far as like things that stand out, like I know that Bones is going to get some open looks. So I do think that his threes is something that we should be in on today.
Really? Bones threes is the funnest because it's just like easy to follow.
Yeah,
There's
and what do we
another
think
three.
will it be at? If he's not on there, I think that Will Barton will hit.
He's on there 1.5, but it's minus 180. You get terrible odds.
Oh yeah, and he's going to hit that too.
But then you're not going to make any money on it.
Yeah, you're not. You could throw it in a parlay as like a juicer.
Yeah,
We could
that's
do
a good
that later.
juicer. All right, we'll save it.
One thing that I really do like in the game, I like just going off of the clip. We know that, and we're going to lock this in as the lock of the night.
Oh.
Jokic is going to get every rebound that comes his way.
All right, we're doing rebounds.
It's going to be a huge rebound night for him. They only have it at 12.5 against no center option.
Okay.
All right.
For them. He's also going to have to be in help side a lot of the times. They're going to try to make him step out. It's not going to work. He's going to grab every rebound. So we're going to lock that in.
Okay.
I think that Barton assist is going to be up. This is an assist game for him. I don't think that he's going to try to shoot every single time.
He better not.
We could throw in a three-pointer, though. He will knock down. I think he's going to hit 2 3-pointers.
You think he's going to hit two
two
threes?
of them.
Yep.
All
But
righty.
also, I think the assist
his line is 2.5, though. You
yeah,
get plus
we'll put him on the parlay.
135.
We'll put him on the parlay. 'cause
Really?
You could do You could
You
do
can do
just
two
the
plus
one, or you
or
can do
one
the 2+.
plus.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll put him in the parlay. But I do think that this is a game that assists is going to be up for Barton because he's going to find the big man. He also is just going to just rotate the ball a lot more.
Okay.
So I really do like that. Those are my locks.
All right, I got a little parlay I built today along these same lines. I took Will Barton 2.5 assists. Same thing. I think he's just going to have a couple assists tonight. Nikola Jokic rebounds 9.5. That was easy. And I took Jokic 20+ points. I do feel like Jokic saying he needs to be more aggressive. That plus them having show. I think he's going to be aggressive tonight. It's only a -125. So actually, the book is saying you should win this one. But I kind of want it. I want an easy one here today. Plus, there was a little bonus here. If I made a single game parlay, I got like $10. So I did it.
Little fun thread. I mean, is he going to shoot threes tonight? He shot too many last game, but then was defiant about it in the post game.
I know.
Openly lied about his philosophy on shooting threes.
I love it.
If I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. Not true.
I'll say he doesn't take anywhere close to 10 threes tonight.
Yeah.
I say he takes like 3.
Okay.
Man, they really don't give you those Bones Hyland in the parlay. You can't get Bones in the parlay for the man. They really. Come on, DraftKings. All right, that does it for today, guys. The Nuggets are in Canada. We're going to be right back here at the DNVR Bar for a Saturday night Nuggets game. Hopefully, it's a winner's lounge afterward. Hit that like button on the way out. We'll see you guys there.